To our next story. You know, in a 21st century world, it's a crying shame that we still have problems strengthening confidence in digital transactions, reducing the risk of fraud and cybercrime. The happy news here is that the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, has announced the 14th of September as the new deadline for subscribers to link their National Identification Number, NIN, to their Subscriber Identification Module, SIM cards. This new development is sequel to a previous deadline fixed for July the 31st regarding the exercise. As it stands, all mobile network operators, MNOs, are to comply accordingly. PC.
Well, they said this is the last deadline. Boss.
After many deadlines.
After many deadlines. So I don't know. But also, they also said that over 80%.
96%.
Okay. 96%.
153 million Nigerians
have subscribed, have linked their NIN to their SIMs, and that's good news. But the thing for me is that in spite of this achievement, how has this impacted on security, for example? Because one of the reasons why we do these things is to prevent cyber crimes, to also
keep it down.
Yes, aid in fighting insecurity and all of that. But today we know that, in fact, we even see bandits on TikTok now.
Yes.
Molesting, abusing,
and flaunting
whatever money they have collected. So, how far has this helped in fighting this, and what is stopping it from doing so? Now, I listened to the former, this guy, the former man that was in charge of, what's his name again? The professor. The guy that was in charge of NCC,
Dambata.
No, not Dambata, the minister.
Okay, the Minister of Communications.
Yes, the Minister of Communications.
Okay. Not Patami, no.
No, Patami.
Patami,
yes,
Patami.
Yes, Mr. Patami. I listened to him recently, and he was saying that he does not know why bandits cannot be traced with the efficiency of NIN linkage to SIMs, that ordinarily this thing should work, and that they have tried it, they have practiced, and they have done a lot of things that should make our security outfits to be able to arrest people using this SIMs NIN linkage. But he's wondering why that has not been done and why it is not happening. And if somebody like that could talk like that, to now ask me, why the essence of saying September is the deadline or December is the deadline? After all, we are not achieving anything with all of these things. And what is supposed to achieve, we are not getting it. So it is not, in essence, what I'm saying is that it's not enough for us to fix deadline for Nigerians to link their SIMs to their NINs. It is more important for Nigeria to do what every other government does with this kind of information to the best of its own, to make this work better for us as a country, both in terms of fighting cybercrime and in terms of fighting insecurity, banditry, kidnapping, and all sorts of things.
Emeka, mine is that in a 21st century world, we are playing catch-up. You know.
Are we even playing catch-up? Because or do we really even know what game we're playing? Because if you look at it,
we are not even playing any catch.
We are not playing any game at all. The catch is not even there, not talk of the up. You say you've achieved 96%. So are you telling me that the remaining 4%, because in mathematics, right, 100%, is that not the top, the bar? So that means we still have 4% that have not been captured. And that's where we're having the problem.
What if the 4 are these crazy?
No,
that is an assumption.
I don't think the fault is with the agency.
I'm not even looking. No, it's not even about the agency.
So even what I'm trying to say is that even if they achieve 90%, their own is to achieve. It is the responsibility of those who are supposed to make use of the information to use it. So their own is to do the
Gentlemen, can we work with the new deadline, September 14th?
No, it's not impossible. But the thing is that for me, when you are making such calculations, you need to leave the margin of error. So what they are now telling us, for me, I doubt it, because if you say 96%, maybe the person intended to say...
You are quarreling with the...
Maybe the person intended to say 86%. Because in any statistics, you must leave a margin of error. So if you have 96 and you're waiting, so where is the margin of error?
I thought...
What if you jumped some people? What if you jump some areas? What if your figures, there are issues with your figure, even your figures, even your methodology, your method of extrapolating those figures. Those are germane questions. And then again, you see, it's not just about linking NINs to SIMs. The other thing is that, okay, among those medical students kidnapped recently, one of them was said to have sent his location. Sent out their location, and yet, thank God they were rescued. Not that there was no fatality,
no ransom paid.
Well, that's what the police told us. But the thing that if somebody could quickly publish, his location, then what it tells you is that why, that means there are still certain things that are not in the equation. Certain parts of the equation are still not clear. Ordinarily, if you have such a daring move by a kidnapped victim, you should be able to follow up and deal with this thing, because we have a kidnapping scourge right now. It's a scourge. It's a serious problem. It's an epidemic, and must be put down with every seriousness, every tool available to government. So this linking of NINs to SIMs to NIN should now be followed up scientifically and with solid technology, so that it is not only, like some people say, it's not only in tracking critics of government or activists. You should be able to track these criminals. It doesn't matter where they are. We should actually also, when we call ourselves the giant of Africa, we should lead in using scientification and technology to solve problems. That will take us a long way.
Nobody says if you were a giant, you should not snore. But I think this exercise by the NCC should have been without rancor of any, in other climes, they do these things, but without as much as raising hell.
This is Nigeria now.
The giant of Africa.
We are the giant of Africa. You see, if you know what it means, as I'm talking to you right now, I have done my NIN more than 4 years, in fact, more than 7 years ago.
Okay.
But as I'm talking to you, that line is not working. The line that is linked to my mobile, that it is not working. The reason, I don't know. Meanwhile, if you want to look at people the first set of people that did this thing, I will count among them. So you now ask yourself, what is going on? During the time that they stopped people, some numbers, and my other line was also affected, and I wondered, why is this taking place? It just shows you that there are people who have not linked their numbers, who are probably still using their phone, they are able to still use their lines, and there are so many people that have done it that they lump with those who have not done. And it just makes everything become so messy. And that is why the NCC keeps on shifting the goal. Because you just know that these things are not being, you are not getting it rightly. And I also learned that some of the people that were given the opportunity to do the linking, those people that will use umbrella, and this and that.
Okay.
I learned
the vendors.
The vendors. I learned that the things they did at that time didn't work at all.
Yes.
Did not work at all.
Otherwise,
so those
why were they set up?
Those who thought they had registered, it turned out that they have not. And also, I learned from the grapevine that the computers that are needed to even synchronize all these things, even with NIN-SIM, are not enough. So what this means is that even if these telcos do all this linking and the rest, by the time they pass the information to connect to where it should, the real computers, they are not doing well. So a lot of problems are going on underneath that even Nigerians themselves may not be aware of.
Emeka, it still boggles the mind that in a 21st century world, we still are making a mess of boiling a 5-minute egg. Tell a Nigerian that this egg must boil for 5 minutes. He boils it 45 minutes, you ask him, our guy just put it on fire. You know, when we can avoid it. Well, if you get
no, it also depends. If the man doesn't have enough gas to boil it, then if he wants to go and gather firewood, maybe it has rained, and he first of all has to get dry firewood. So, you know, you may not.
He's digging more hole.
Well, because they won't even let you know. Even the people in charge, I'll tell you the truth, they won't tell you the real problems.
Yeah.
They will not let you know the real problems, because telling you the real problem will mean that they are indicting the authorities that put them there.
Yeah.
So they would rather they keep quiet and allow this messy situation to continue. Then by the time September comes and we are unable to link all the SIMs, then we fix another date.
So why would you now? Why not have just one identity, like a social security number? Take BVN, take NIN, take the international passport, driver's license. Take all of them, take all the identities, and put them into one, so that it will be easy to track people who are, suspected of being involved in criminal activities. And also, it will not just be about just tracking criminals. It should also be about knowing how many Nigerians we are, how to better allocate resources. We should also let the people know. You see, in pushing out these things, you should not just be telling Nigerians about the negatives. Because look at the positives. That will help us to plan. It will help us to plan. 21st
century gadgetry is supposed to make things easier.
I also need to say this, that it is not all negatives when it comes to NIN registration and linkage in Nigeria.
Same,
and because if you look at what JAMB, for example, has achieved, just because candidates now have to link their application to their NIN and the rest, it has helped a lot in bringing out exam malpractices.
Okay.
All
right. Time is the master here. So we'll go to our last but not least